All aboard the Korean hype train, SK Telecom.
All right. Let's do this. Yeah, I noticed, couldn't help but notice a lot more people right as I start the stream this time. You guys are excited to talk about, are you just G2 haters? Are you NA lovers? It's probably because of time zone, a lot of NA lovers. T1 believers. The cope has been refilled for years to come with this performance by NRG. You guys are getting so hyped about this NRG stream. But they didn't even beat any Eastern teams to get here, guys. This is NRG Americans is just an indictment of how shit this Swiss format is. So let me get this straight. KT literally has to play only LCK and LPL teams, and NRG just gets Western teams to beat the whole way through. And you guys are like, yeah, America did it. No, America didn't fucking do it. America didn't fucking do it. NRG played one of the most shameful games of League of Legends I've ever seen against Mad Lions. Look, man, I'm glad NRG made it through, but let's not pretend this was a real fucking run, guys. Let's not pretend that. Let's see them take out somebody important in quarters, okay? I'll tell you what. I will be excited when NRG beats somebody good in quarters. All right, here we go. You guys ready for the world's dumbest comment? Here we go. I mean, people were hyping up G2 like they were going to be finalists, lol. NRG earned quarters. All teams in quarters earned it. You can only beat who is in front of you. However, the format decides who is in front of you that you beat. Okay, let me make an analogy. If I lined up a bunch of toddlers in front of me, I lined up 5 toddlers, and because of the format, at the end, I become heavyweight champion of the world. Whereas the other guy who's competing for the title has 5 actual heavyweight boxers who are championship caliber in front of him. You can't just say, I earned my heavyweight title. Right? That's not how it works. Yeah, you don't earn it, right? You don't earn it. They did beat who is in front of them. Did they earn a quarterfinal spot? Look, I think G2 are good. So I do think this win is legit. But I do think we need to temper our expectations a little bit. All right, I got the VOD set up this time. Series most excited for tonight? Probably KTD+. Oh, we've seen that one before, though. Use the elephant, but 1K on G2 today. Oh my God, you're really in there. Man, that is a bold prediction, my guy, against what? They're playing BLG, right? Ooh, I don't know about that one. I hope you do well. I have met him in a scrimmage, and my opponent midfielder Palafox is powerful and seems like a genius. That is a fucking great quote. It's so funny. Crownless Ghost. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Are you VPN'd? I am VPN'd. I'm successfully VPN'd to Japan. I had to get a static Japanese IP. TC Veritas, thank you very much for Prime. I had to get a static IP in Japan just so that I could have a really good connection there, because otherwise my Twitch VODs don't save. Are G2 knocked out now? Nope, they got one more shot. Thank you so much for the content over these. Been watching since 2014. Thank you, Turtles Eat. We'll be here all worlds. Should analysts apologize for sucking off G2 relentlessly? No, they had some really good games. What the fuck? At least they beat Korean and Chinese teams. And then they had to play Gen G. Now, they should have won this match, obviously. But it's okay, because NRG had 4.5 odds, so I made money because I bet the flyer on NRG. Because here's the thing, guys. I got burned so hard betting against NRG in LCS playoffs that I learned just to always take the flyer on them, because the odds are always insane. So you might as well just take a small amount of money on a flyer on these guys every time, because you never know when they're just going to shit on somebody. How blind do you go into these? I mean, I know the result. I know the result is NRG winning. but I haven't seen the games. I need to get my pen out. Don't confuse that with anything else. I mean, I would put a flyer on NRG versus JDG. I would. Just look, man, I've learned my lesson. Okay, Callista Draven, same shit that's been banned for Hansama the whole tournament. And Tristana, 3 ADC bans. Interesting. Okay, Alistair, that's a good ban. This is the Ignar Classic. Not going to see the Xayah or the Orianna. It will be a... I do love how Dokla just hovers Akshan every time. The India represent. All right, Nico. And we have Kaiserel. Okay, so no surprises here. All right, very powerful 2v2. Vi, Nico. This is a really good combination. Puts a lot of pressure on the mid lane. Okay. That's risky. You know, Syndra is low mobility, I think. I think that is a lot of mid pressure on old Caps right there. This might be difficult to survive for him. No Rakan, no Renata Glask. Not sure how good Renata Glask would even be in this situation. Taking away the Olaf for Broken Blade and Viego, so really pinching the pools. Okay, so this is the NRG Classic, right? FBI has always loved to play Fasting Senna for his career. Look, this is clever. Nobody else is really doing this, so why not give it a shot? I think Senna's actually pretty good right now. Yeah, okay. All right, look. Here's the thing about Bel'Veth. If you can play aggressively with her early on, you're going to be in a good position. You should be able to get the shove, at least in bot and mid here, in order to open up opportunities for Bel'Veth to really invade early. Obviously, it's a yikes specialty. We talked about this at MSI, but he was literally the only professional player in the entire world to play Bel'Veth in the spring split. You know, up until that point this year in MSI. So he's an expert. Also, G2 often has level 1s that open up things for Bel'Veth. They have scripted level 1s. Yeah, very weird that Rumble wasn't picked. Very, very weird. Do you know the round 5 draw? I do. Yes, I am knowing results already. But I don't know how they got there. So... But I don't hate the draft. I don't hate the draft from G2. You really wish you would have seen Rumble here. Like, I would rather see Rumble than Jax here. That way, because if you have the Rumble into the Cassante, you kind of have pressure in all 3 lanes. And I think that would be better for Bel'Veth. Yeah, I know G2 hasn't been picking Rumble. I mean, that's a pretty big flaw, I think. Am I a Swiss format purist, or do you not mind the rematch being possible? I think it would be better without rematches being possible. Okay, so, I mean, we do see a plan early on here in order to get that pressure. As suspected, it's going to happen on the bottom side because mid and bot are where they're going to be the most powerful early. Yep. Good point out by Kobe about the wards on the entrances so they can keep an eye on Vi's pathing. I guess I would have liked to have seen probably some better warding. Level 1. Okay. That's a great ward, though. That is a great ward. Put that down. Great. So they're able just to come back. So this is the second wave of the game that just hit. And they're coming back right now. So there's no real possibility of stacking up and pushing the wave at this point in time, because what's going on is that NRG is actually just sacrificing hitting level 2 early and fighting over the wave. They're conceding getting pushed in, but they're going to try and slow Yike down as a result. I think this is a very interesting decision. Now, obviously, they can't fight this, but they can do some harassment early on. I mean, if they can hit 2 on FBI, this is potentially winnable. It's a price to pay. Okay, yeah, this is the danger. So now you blew flash immediately. This is the danger of this mid lane. This is why I was a little bit unsure about the Syndra pickup, because it's very hard to deal with this. I don't know. They don't win this 2v2, I don't think. This is rough for contracts. This is rough. You have to go bot scuttle now. Which podcast, Thor and Amachi discussed their thoughts on the change to Swiss Warrant. We talked a lot about Swiss in the last episode of Summoning Insight last week, where we highlighted a lot of the issues with it now that we're in the middle of it. All right. I mean, this is going quite well, obviously, so far for G2. You know, even the advantages that they got from kind of harassing the Bel'Veth and getting the gank off on the mid lane, they weren't able to turn that into anything because Contracts also had to expend his flash trying to get the Raptors when Bel'Veth knew where he was. So Bel'Veth knows that the Vi is probably at Raptors or Krugs right now, just based on what he the information that he has. So that's why he's covering right there. I don't think they win this. I mean, they have no mana. Like, what is Hans Sama supposed to do? He's literally zero. He's zero mana. Like, I think they can recall. They can finish the recalls. Yeah, I think they could have finished those recalls. And they certainly didn't have to use their abilities to engage. This is just a terrible mistake by Mickey and Hans. They could have been taught if he blind tongued the brush. that is a phrase we're going to use. If he blind tongued the bush. Do not take that out of context. Do not clip that out of context. If Ignar blind tongued the bush, yes, he probably could have canceled the recall. Wow, we really fucked that up. Oh, God. All right, so we're going to be back in this game. I just think, you can just use your abilities to escape at that point in time, but you really just have no mana as Hansama, and you're down in total HP as well. Plus, you have the Tom Kent shield that can come through. And Hansama is a really good exhaust as well. Immediate exhaust. But this was not a winnable fight. And Mickey, I think Mickey X says it's always hard to tell because the summoner spell cooldowns are always broken in these replays. But I think that Ignite was also on cooldown. So it can be, yeah, it's really annoying that they haven't fixed that in the replay because a lot of times you want to see, what the flash timers are in particular. And a lot of times I actually just have to go back to the original play to see whose flashes are up. I'm really shocked that hasn't been fixed yet. Belva seems like the jungle version of Western Ezreal. So, I mean, that actually just gets rid of a lot of the advantage that we would have seen G2 have. Also, I don't know how... Let's talk about how Belveth is now behind in CS. So we're not going to actually see the jungle pathing here. But it is very interesting that this Belveth somehow gets behind in terms of CS. Part of that was just covering the bot side while Vi was able to farm the camp respawns. Yeah, I mean, look, the problem with the Belveth covering bot is that you do fall behind. Like, you can't actually play the pressure game. And not only that, but your bot lane died, even though you covered. So there was no point, ultimately, to covering the bot lane. So now you're actually in an even state with the Vi. And the threat on mid lane is going to be really intense between Nico and Vi once the Vi hits 6. I don't know about that, Kobe. Like, Belveth is such a turd in the late game. Excellent. Caps doesn't feel like flashing. Okay. That was actually just a straight 2v3 with a Seta ult. Actually, I don't know if he could have gotten out of the... I don't know if the flash range was long enough if he could have gotten out. But, I mean, you have to expect this, right? You're the one coming in on this. And it is a good move by Palafox to use the clone in that situation. And yeah, I don't think Caps can actually flash out of that. Maybe he could flash over here. Yeah, he could probably flash over here. He could probably flash over to Mickey. Maybe not. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. But I do think he probably dies anyway, just because the Vi is here and you know the Vi has ult up. But you do get a really nice Senna ult over the top. So how the fuck does this Vi get 6 before Belveth? Belveth must be one creep away from 6. That timing is uncanny because look, they're only 3 creeps apart. Yeah, he got 6. When did he get 6? He literally gets 6 right there. Not that 6 would have saved them. I don't think Belvethel does anything for you in that situation. It's just a well-executed counter gank from NRG. Got level 6 from the ward. Yeah, he was literally like 1 XP from 6. He must have been. The purple bar under Champ Orchards. Oh, you're right. Lol. Forgot about that. Yeah, you can see, but this doesn't really tell you. I mean, I can infer it just from game state, but this doesn't really tell you what exactly is going to give you 6, like how many minions you need. But that one is just the ward kill. But regardless, this is it's a good gank. The timing is lucky. The timing is lucky. So there has been a lot of like lucky timing here, I think, from NRG. You know, if you get off that recall in the bot lane, the bot isn't a total disaster, and maybe that cover does something. If Belveth is 6, maybe it changes it. That one, I don't really think it probably changes it. It doesn't change Caps dying, most likely. So some I think good luck in this game, but also G2 didn't have to run it down in that 2v2. They could have just left. Like they wouldn't have died if they didn't opt into the fight and they had used, you know, Rel engage to escape instead. I mean, it really is good coordination, though. I mean, check this out. Credit where it's due, right, to NRG. You're anticipating this. Your bot lane is already moving. They read this play through and through from G2, right? The bot lane was already moving. This isn't reactionary. This is a setup play when they knew that this gank was coming, and they already had a plan in mind. Push in, on the move. They suspect that the gank is coming, that Mickey is there. They're totally ready for it. Level 6 on Vi, punish the Syndra. This is why I was not a fan of the Syndra pick, as I said in draft. I think it's too risky. You have a very weak 2v2. Like, Syndra's job just has to be push in the mid turret and, you know, threaten roaming in, but it's supposed to make space for the Belveth, but the Belveth is now just behind. So it's pretty doomed, honestly. Very clean. I don't know about that one. Yeah. I mean, I did watch Palafox die in the mid lane and, you know, Contracts waste his flash at Raptors. I did see that, you know. I did see that. Maybe it's cleaner from this point out. Can Syndra W and Nico in minion form? I do not know. I would assume no. I'm in Korea right now. Yeah, W takes her back to base form. I would assume that would be the case. It probably just reveals her, right? Do I know the results? I do know the results. As I said before, bangers only. This is not a spoiler-free zone. I don't care about knowing about the results. Just like I don't care about spoilers for movies. Because it doesn't matter what the result is. It doesn't matter what happens. The only thing that matters is how it's done and how well it's done. That's what we care about. True elitists do not care about spoilers. About twists that are ruined? Nah. You know, I have such excellent suspension of disbelief that if you tell me the twist, I will literally forget it while watching like a movie or whatever. Caps? Caps? Hello? This is so gross to watch. Senna actually broken right now? Broken Blade. No, no. Oh, God. It's so, why bother, dude? All right, let's take a look at this. Both junglers top side. Just absolutely brutal wrecking of the turret bot lane. Getting most of the turret plates right now. Mickey X attempts to engage. Actually does nothing on the engage. Good job eating him. Caps TPs into a tragic ward. Whereas Palafox TPs to a minion. I mean, this is an excellent TP, right? This is an excellent reactive TP by Palafox. The value you can get here over Pop Blossom is pretty nuts because you zone Mickey out, force Caps backwards to flash. The healing coming out is just nuts from FBI. And then I don't know what the fuck this TP is because Broken Blade is recalling at the start of this play. So he buys Sunderer and he gets here as fast as he can after his buy, but that is such a waste of TP. Yeah, I actually do think Senna is probably going to rise in priority as a result of NRG. The amount of bullying is pretty crazy. The crazy thing is they're not even close to dying. Like, Caps doesn't even ult. You know what I mean? They're not even close. Like, he can't do anything at the start of this play because he just gets exhausted. Then he gets knocked up. He has to flash away. I mean, there's no time for him really to do anything. Oh, T1 played in the series right after. Yeah, I think it's good. That doesn't surprise me. T1 would be the team to play it. Like, Keria wants to farm. We know that. Keria secretly wants to play AD carry. It's not even secretly, not so secretly. Yeah, he's got another W. He's fine. All right. I mean, this is legit. The Tom Ken Schultz is still down. You got to make a play somewhere. You still have ults up. This is a good counterpunch based on cooldowns for G2. They keep, it's interesting. They keep putting Senna and Tom Kench in the mid lane. It's the second time they've been actually in mid lane. But it makes sense. I mean, you see the value. You see the value of having the Vi pushing out into the side lane with the Nico. I mean, there's no chance for him to do literally anything there. He's just CC'd to death. That's chain CC. Do I think Broken Blade is the weakest link on G2? Broken Blade's been good. Not this game. But a lot of times you have to remember that teleports are a team call. And that TP is pretty terrible, though. Thoughts on Vi in this meta? I mean, Vi is fine in this meta. Obviously, she's not going to be doing necessarily a lot in the late game. A lot of the problems that I think we've seen in Vi games is when Vi gets all of the kills early and no one else has any, and then you just have a Divine Sunderer Vi with infinity gold. But that doesn't provide you any late game value in team fights, right? I think in my VOD review yesterday, we talked about how I really didn't like the Vi on KT's composition in the third game of the series. You know, that's a good example of that. But the proactivity you can have with Vi in terms of creating value through picks is obviously huge, and her late game or her early game presence rather is huge as well. You know, the other Vi offers a lot. I mean, look at this. He can basically just follow Palafox on the map and guarantee kills right now. Right? Nobody can get out of the Vi Nico combination. This is what I talked about in draft of this game. This is a really strong 2v2. There is some weakness with Vi. Obviously, if you have an invade before she gets level 3, she really struggles. Like, she just can't fight before level 3 at all. So she's particularly weak in that scenario. So there are some ways to abuse her. The other thing that's kind of underrated about Vi is that she basically takes no damage from early Drakes thanks to her shield. So you can actually very safely do Drakes. You're not going to get low on HP ever. It gives you a lot of Drake control, especially with a strong mid that you can gank with as well. It's really hard to punish a Vi taking Drake because she can always just get out of the pit with her Q, and she doesn't take damage. You can also solo Drake a lot of the time with Vi, which is huge. Oh. Man, the amount of wasted summoners from G2 this game is bonkers. Really good pressure from NRG, though. Cavs is dead. They're not respecting the TP and, like, the roam at all. Oh. Well, he didn't mean to get that kill, but that's the one that they're going to get. I mean, this is great from NRG, truly. This is really proactive play from NRG. Like, credit to them. But this all stems from the fact that they've consistently had teleport advantages. And this Vi, Contracts has just been everywhere on the map. He's been shadowing Palafox, making sure that they get that kill in the top lane. Palafox still has TP up. The wave is pushing forward, right? There's virtually no pressure right now. You can't make plays. And I think that maybe they didn't realize how aggressive NRG would be in terms of placing Senna and Tahm Kench in the mid lane in the early game. But you see they're constantly moving ahead of everyone else. And there is a call here. I mean, Dokla, first off, I mean, they know Broken Blade's out. So at this point in time, Broken Blade took the turret shot, had to flash out of this engagement, is recalling. I know they want to get this turret in the bot lane, right? But you have to back off. So Nico is question mark ping on the map right now. They don't know where Nico is after pushing that in the top side. Looks like they're going to see Vi on this ward right here, but there's pressure in the mid lane. So you have to respect the fact that this Nico could literally be anywhere and that there is a teleport coming in. There is a teleport that could come in, and Jax is out of play. Not only is Jax out of play with 1 HP, right? He has no TP. So you can't push is the answer. And I think the other thing is you can tell NRG is really used to playing with the Tahm Kench because they're very proactively moving, and Ignar is playing really aggressively with Abyssal Voyage. So you have to respect the fact that they could be anywhere at any time, right? And there isn't going to be a reaction here. They can't move faster than Abyssal Voyage Tahm Kench. Thank you, Buke Aikto. I appreciate it. I saw Douglas said they have less than a 10% win rate. I mean, this right here, you know, Ignar is trying to cut them off. Blast Cone. This is a great play by Ignar. Sushi emergency. Oh my God. Sometimes I have a sushi emergency. I miss the songs you would make. To be fair, I wouldn't make the songs. I would just write them and other people would sing them. I think KT is out. I mean, historically this year, KT is kind of dumpster D+, but you can believe what you will. It's possible. You guys didn't watch D+ this year. I promise you, if you had seen a bunch of their games, you would not think this highly of them. They also lost to KT already at Worlds. KT is definitely the favorite in that series. Will they win? Who knows? Should they win? Yes. G2 is just fucked, right? The Belveth is completely useless at this point in time. You have to do something with these side lanes, but Contracts and Palafox are there every single time, and they have infinite CC to murder you. Jax can't play the game. They're always faster on the rotation because they always have pressure, and they have Abyssal Voyage and TP advantage. This is just a slaughter. This is the issue with Belveth is you have to make you have to get shit done early, or the game just turns into a complete fiesta. Belveth is a turd with wings right now. Just a purple turd with wings. Like, what the fuck is Belveth going to do to anybody for the rest of this game? Nothing. Do I miss casting Worlds? I miss casting the games. That part was fun. Everything surrounding casting the games was pretty dog shit, though. So, you know, there's a bunch of really odious people at Riot that are horrible to work with. So, don't miss that part. Don't miss, not getting paid. Now, I've told the stories before, but, Riot was so abusive towards me in terms of pay that they paid me $3,000 to do 2013 Worlds. Not a day, guys. Not a day. $3,000 to do every single desk segment for the entire Worlds in total. 3K. I legit probably got paid less than minimum wage per hour when you consider all my research time, rehearsal time. So nah, fuck those guys. They tried to get me to do it for free. They literally lied to me and told me that it was part of my OGN contract and that OGN was a partner and that I should do it for free. Which obviously, I used to work for a law firm. My contract was to cast OGN's games for OGN. So they tried to lie to me first. And then they said 3K or you don't do it. And they didn't even pay Crepo and Doublelift to do all those segments. They told Crepo and Doublelift that it was part of the $25,000 player stipend that they gave them annually. So, nah, I love the game. It is fun to cast these games, but, I'd rather do this, frankly. Do you think there's a chance you two can bury the hatchet? Yeah, I've told you this. If they publicly apologize and pay me the money they owe me. How much do you think Cadril is making co-streaming Worlds? $500,000, maybe? Maybe that's a little high. Probably at least 250,000. But I appreciate you guys being here. Frankly, follow this stream. I'm gonna be doing these VOD reviews for the rest of Worlds. It's been really fun. I'll be streaming during the off season. You know, watch my talk shows over at Last Free Nation for LOL and Last Free Nation Culture for like TV and movies. You know, I just want to run my own shit now. Like, I I enjoy League of Legends. I enjoy doing it, but I'm only going to do it on my terms, guys. 250K, that's like casting Worlds for Riot almost 100 times. Yeah. Do I have a schedule set up? I'm just here in the mornings Korea time. After each day after the matches happen, I'll be reviewing those days. So if the matches happen the previous day, I'll be on about this time. He got like 75K yesterday. Yeah. Who knows, man? I mean, he's making millions of dollars a year. Cadril. No doubt. All right. Well, this has been a really good snowball from NRG. I mean, really credit to them. Super proactive. They did get a couple of breaks early on in the game. But you know what? They won the fights. They got a couple breaks. But this Belveth has been completely useless. You're 2 levels down now. It's completely doomed. Trolly, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. I haven't been streaming for the last 6 months or so because I've been busy with the business side of LFN, but I have some time here during Worlds and I'll have some time after Worlds as well. And hopefully next year, guys, I'll be able to do this more frequently during the lull season like I did, in February and March this year where I was doing a lot of VOD reviews. And Fat Jesus, thank you for your Twitch Prime sub. Sorry, I missed that one. Yeah, the thing with... what was that? That sounded like bits, but I didn't see what it was. Oh. They wanted to pay you the value of 15 Jin Chromas to cast an entire World's tourney. Yeah. To be fair, they did pay me more later, but, they basically were still paying less than other esports. That's why I didn't go to that MSI. That's why we didn't take the, Doe and Pop and I didn't take the MSI because they were paying the least out of 7 other esports, including games like Halo, on a day rate. So it's not worth the fight, man. I wish there was a way that I could do League of Legends and they would, negotiate in good faith and treat me like an adult professional. But that's not the case. And, frankly, I made a lot more money not, leaving. So fuck it. Made way more money than I ever would have working for Riot all these years. Really good turn here. Super good turn. I mean, there's really just no risk here. Very clean engages. The coordination on some of these attacks is extremely good. Are you and Papa still on good terms? Oh, yeah, we talk to each other all the time. I saw him while he was in Korea. Yeah, we're quite good friends. We used to hang out all the time when we were in LA together. Come over to my house all the time, cook for him. Really good turn. Really good turn. Man, Ignar quietly very good in this game. Like I heard a lot of the hype for Palafox and Contracts, and that's deserved. Both of them had an excellent game, but Ignar also has been really good on this Tahm Kench. That's it. Oh, Broken Blade. All right, legit great game by NRG, guys. I mean, you can't fault them. When we talk about, they got a couple of breaks early, but you have to do something with the advantages that you get. And they have snowballed this really hard and really fast. And they've made the punishes have been crazy. Have G2 left themselves very open to be punished? Sure. But, I mean, this is about as well as you could play in this game. Do you think this form of energy is good enough to compete with any Asian team in quarters? I think the issue that you're going to find is like the question is this the NRG Exodia comp? You know, what happens if they don't get Senna, Vi, Nico? Well, the question will probably be answered in the next game. But also, you know, I don't think Asian teams are going to leave themselves open. If you'll notice, like, think about this game and think about the game that Cloud9 played against T1 where Cloud9 picked Belveth. Belveth is a heavy snowball champion, but there's very little room for error. Very little room for error. She can be oppressive, but you need to execute it really well. And if you don't, you just lose. So I think it's I think it's like a high risk kind of medium reward champion. And I just think teams are just going to stop picking it. It's too risky. Maybe you pick it if you're up 2-0 in a best of 5, you know, or you're down 0-2 in a best of 5 and you need some sort of Hail Mary. But yeah, I just think I think you look at some of these Belveth games where you're like, oh man, the Belveth getting screwed early on just made the game completely unwinnable. In interviews, Doklo saying they never play like this in scrims. Yeah, but sometimes, you know, scrims are scrims, man. Like, sometimes it's about experimentation in scrims. Sometimes, you know, people aren't all dialed in. Sometimes teams just do better with the pressure on the stage. Like, that's when they get really focused. And you can't say, I mean, their comms and focus were on point this game. Very on point. You know, they were on a roll. Maybe this was just their best day ever. But, you know, it's a good day to have your best day ever, right? Couldn't ask for more. I mean, this is over. I don't really think we need to watch the rest of this. I don't think there's going to be a throw. They can dive the turrets very easily with this composition. Did I miss the T1 recap? No. Do I agree that Atlas is the best caster in esports? Probably right now, actually. I think that's not outrageous, especially in terms of play-by-play. Unfortunately, so here's the unfortunate angle. If Sadikist wasn't a complete prick, he would probably be the best. But unfortunately, he can't stop being a prick, so he doesn't get to cast in esports anymore. Is this a bigger upset than T1 beating BLG? Yes. Yes, it is a bigger upset. I really think we need to watch the rest of this. I'm glad I didn't watch till the end of this. That's actually fucking hilarious. I didn't even know that you could, that basically after the timer was up, you got to, I didn't even know what this interaction was. Like, what happens when Tom catches Zonias with somebody inside of him? Because he gets ejected when the clock is up, even though the Zonias is still going. And then, of course, he flashes the misfits on him. Hold on just a second. Hi, Max.
Dad,
Yeah.
I really want you to hug me.
Oh, my son wants me to hug him. You can say hi to the people.
Hi.
All right. Thanks, Max. Yeah, you had to go for a little bit, guy.
I want to stay here.
You want to stay in here? Okay. It's all right. Bye, Max.
Bye, Christopher.
There you go. You get a cameo from my kid. Degon's in my house right now, so Degon let him in. That's so funny. That is a hilarious interaction. I do love him dropping, like, Ignar dropping the Misfits, because that obviously he played on Misfits with Hansama. So having the Misfits logo right here is super funny. My kid's going to be the next Faker. Nah. He's going to make Faker look like a joke. They tried to get me to do it for free. They literally lied to me and told me that it was part of my OGN contract and that OGN was a partner and that I should do it for free. Which obviously I used to work for a law firm. My contract was to cast OGN's games for OGN. So they tried to lie to me first. And then they said $3K or you don't do it. And they didn't even pay Crepo and Doublelift to do all those segments. They told Crepo and Doublelift that it was part of the $25,000 player stipend that they gave them annually. So, nah, you know, I love the game. It is fun to cast these games, but, you know, I'd rather do this, frankly. Do you think there's a chance you two can bury the hatchet? Yeah, I've told you this. If they publicly apologize and pay me the money they owe me. How much do you think Cadriel is making co-streaming Worlds? $500,000, maybe? Maybe that's a little high. Probably at least 250,000. But I appreciate you guys being here. You know, frankly, follow this stream. I'm gonna be doing these VOD reviews for the rest of Worlds. It's been really fun. I'll be streaming during the off season. You know, watch my talk shows over at Last Free Nation for LOL and Last Free Nation Culture for like TV and movies. You know, I just want to run my own shit now. Like, I enjoy League of Legends. I enjoy doing it, but I'm only going to do it on my terms, guys. $250K, that's like casting Worlds for Riot almost 100 times. Yeah. Do I have a schedule set up? I'm just here in the mornings Korea time. After each day after the matches happen, I'll be reviewing those days. So if the matches happen the previous day, I'll be on about this time. He got like 75K yesterday. Yeah. Who knows, man? I mean, he's making millions of dollars a year, Cadriel. No doubt. All right. Well, this has been a really good snowball from NRG. I mean, really credit to them. Super proactive. They did get a couple of breaks early on in the game. But you know what? They won the fights. They got a couple breaks. But this Belveth has been completely useless. You're 2 levels down now. It's completely doomed. Trolly, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. I haven't been streaming for the last 6 months or so because I've been busy with the business side of LFN, but I have some time here during Worlds and I'll have some time after Worlds as well. And hopefully next year, guys, I'll be able to do this more frequently during the lull season like I did, in February and March this year where I was doing a lot of VOD reviews. And Fat Jesus, thank you for your Twitch Prime sub. Sorry, I missed that one. Yeah, the thing with... what was that? That sounded like bits, but I didn't see what it was. Oh. They wanted to pay you the value of 15 Jin Chromas to cast an entire World's tourney. Yeah. To be fair, they did pay me more later, but, they basically were still paying less than other esports. That's why I didn't go to that MSI. That's why we didn't take the, Doe and Papa and I didn't take the MSI because they were paying the least out of 7 other esports, including games like Halo, on a day rate. So it's not worth the fight, man. I wish there was a way that I could do League of Legends and they would, negotiate in good faith and treat me like an adult professional, but that's not the case. And, frankly, I made a lot more money not, leaving. So fuck it. Made way more money than I ever would have working for Riot all these years. Really good turn here. Super good turn. I mean, there's really just no risk here. Very clean engages. The coordination on some of these attacks is extremely good. Are you and Papa still on good terms? Oh yeah, we talk to each other all the time. I saw him while he was in Korea. Yeah, we're quite good friends. We used to hang out all the time when we were in LA together. Come over to my house all the time, cook for him. Really good turn. Really good turn. Man, Ignar quietly very good in this game. Like, I heard a lot of the hype for Palafox and Contracts, and that's deserved. Both of them had an excellent game, but Ignar also has been really good on this Tom Kench. That's it. Oh, Broken Blade. All right, legit great game by NRG, guys. I mean, you can't fault them. You know, when we talk about, yeah, they got a couple of breaks early, but you have to do something with the advantages that you get. And they have snowballed this really hard and really fast. And they've made the punishes have been crazy. Have G2 left themselves very open to be punished? Sure. But, I mean, this is about as well as you could play in this game. Do you think this form of energy is good enough to compete with any Asian team in quarters? I think the issue that you're going to find is, like, the question is this the NRG Exodia comp? You know, what happens if they don't get Senna, Vi, Nico? Well, the question will probably be answered in the next game. But also, you know, I don't think Asian teams are going to leave themselves open. If you'll notice, like, think about this game and think about the game that Cloud9 played against T1, where Cloud9 picked Bel'Veth. Bel'Veth is a heavy snowball champion, but there's very little room for error. Very little room for error. She can be oppressive, but you need to execute it really well. And if you don't, you just lose. So I think it's I think it's like a high risk kind of medium reward champion. And I just think teams are just going to stop picking it. It's too risky. Maybe you pick it if you're up 2-0 in a best of 5, you know, or you're down 0-2 in a best of 5 and you need some sort of Hail Mary. But yeah, I just think I think you look at some of these Bel'Veth games where you're like, oh man, the Bel'Veth getting screwed early on just made the game completely unwinnable. In interviews, Doklo saying they never play like this in scrims. Yeah, but sometimes, you know, scrims are scrims, man. Like, sometimes it's about experimentation in scrims. Sometimes, you know, people aren't all dialed in. Sometimes teams just do better with the pressure on the stage. Like, that's when they get really focused. And you can't say, I mean, their comms and focus were on point this game. Very on point. You know, they were on a roll. Maybe this was just their best day ever. But, you know, it's a good day to have your best day ever, right? Couldn't ask for more. I mean, this is over. I don't really think we need to watch the rest of this. I don't think there's going to be a throw. They can dive the turrets very easily with this composition. Did I miss the T1 recap? No. Do I agree that Atlas is the best caster in esports? Probably right now, actually. I think that's not outrageous, especially in terms of play-by-play. Unfortunately, so here's the unfortunate angle. If Sadikist wasn't a complete prick, he would probably be the best. But unfortunately, he can't stop being a prick, so he doesn't get to cast in esports anymore. Is this a bigger upset than T1 beating BLG? Yes. Yes, it is a bigger upset. I really think we need to watch the rest of this.
I'm glad I didn't watch till the end of this.
That's actually fucking hilarious. I didn't even know that you could, that basically after the timer was up, you got to, I didn't even know what this interaction was. Like what happens when Tom catches Zonias with somebody inside of him? Because he gets ejected when the clock is up, even though the Zonias is still going. And then, of course, he flashes the misfits on him. Hold on just a second. Hi, Max.
Dad,
Yeah.
I really want you to hug me.
Oh, my son wants me to hug him. You can say hi to the people.
Hi.
All right. Thanks, Max. Yeah, you got to go for a little bit, guy.
I want to stay here.
You want to stay in here? Okay. It's all right. Bye, Max.
Bye, Christopher.
There you go. You get a cameo for my kid. Degon's in my house right now, so Degon let him into my let him in. That's so funny. That is a hilarious interaction. I do love him dropping, like Ignar dropping the Misfits, because that obviously he played on Misfits with Hansama. So having the Misfits logo right here is super funny. My kid's gonna be the next Faker. Nah. He's gonna make Faker look like a joke.
Ain't no love like a real love, but it goes so fast.
Degon's just staying at my house right now while he does his interviews over at Worlds. So you should check out his YouTube channel. He did interviews, I think, with I know he keeps getting really good interviews with contracts. I'm not sure his interviews from yesterday are up yet, but I do know he got the interviews afterwards. Can't even believe he got that many chances, frankly, but excellent caster, though. Crazy talented. Do you permanently live in Korea? Well, I was living in Los Angeles for 6 years, but I'm selling my house there now, and I'm going to live in Korea for a while. We're not sure how long we're going to be here. We want to get our kid into he's in Korean language school right now, so we want to get him fluent. So I'll be here at least until April, if not longer, and then I'll go to Denver. Does Max like Korea? Yeah, he's been here. This is his 4th time here, so he's been here quite a bit. You're in Colorado Springs? Nice. I'm from Fort Collins. That's where my parents are. All right, Senna Maokai, Oriana. Yes, I think that is smart. Although I'm kind of surprised you don't want to first pick the Maokai, especially since Yike was playing it a lot leading into Worlds and playoffs. You really just want to first pick Zaya? Okay. So Rakan, Jarvan, Poppy, Azir. Okay. Poppy could be top lane as well. Just keep that in mind, depending on whether it's a Jack pick for your blue side. So you're not going to have that opportunity really to flex it if they are 5 top lane. And they're just going to ban the Jack, so it's not an option. Aphelios banned out. I mean, why can't FBI just play Kaisa, man? Like, why are we banning Aphelios? Dude, the Taliyah stats are so fraudulent. So first off, half of those games were in play-ins, the Taliyah. Secondly, look at the fucking list of Taliyah players and Taliyah teams. It's been a bunch of bad teams, and like KT looked amazing on Taliyah. I mean, the E really fucks up Poppy and Azir. So is Poppy jungle, is Poppy top? It is. All right, so very standard front to back composition if they pick the Orin. Etc. All right, fine. I mean, this is a scaling. Obviously, okay. So G2's composition here looks very similar to the one we saw KT play yesterday. Now KT was extremely impatient, right? They were extremely impatient with allowing kind of the Orin and Azir scaling to come online. I think the Sivir is good here just as a late game hedge from NRG, but it is going to be very difficult to execute this composition in the late game, right? Jarvan falls off pretty hard. Stepping up on Sivir is going to be really difficult versus Orin, Poppy, Azir, Nautilus. Like getting in range might be a bit of a trick. So you'd like to see NRG be really proactive in the early game and exercise some objective control. Much better at this is a pick composition basically, right? A lot of people think about Sivir as a front to back engaged team fighter, which he can be, but a lot of a lot of pick compositions, if you watch the way that some Korean teams like KT or T1 play pick comps, it's really just about collapsing on a side lane with Sivir using ult, right? And when you have the Taliyah wall as well, think about how NRG was playing the last game. Once they got into a mid-game state, they were putting their bot duo in the mid lane and then collapsing on the sides, and you could do that with Taliyah too, right? So, you know, and because she has excellent wave clear also, you can clear waves really quickly and then run into a side lane, right? If you're in mid, you can just clear the wave, provide pressure, and then walk into river. And it would be very similar to the style we were seeing from FBI in the last game, where he was pretty much just clearing mid wave and then constantly wandering around into side lanes. I don't think Ornn is weird. I think they're just confident that if they play a standard game of League of Legends and they get into a late game state, that they're going to make better decisions. I mean, KT thought that too, and then KT got sucked into every Drake fight on the face of the universe and decided to lose the game. You know, it was a very winnable game for KT if they just actually played it safe. G2 has low damage with 3 tanks. They don't. They don't. Late game Zion Azir will do plenty of damage. They just require time to scale. So Poppy's Q start makes Raptors super easy. So we're going to see the Raptor start there. Poppy's Q is better. You know, the way the Poppy jungles is her Q is just better at the multi-target camps in the early stages of the game. This is one of the best Taliyah games in the world so far. Great. Excited to see it. Next time you do a Free Spice special, would it be possible to do funny rather than cringe esports moments? Possibly, yeah. The first rule of KT is you do not get excited about KT. I didn't say I was excited. I made the KT rules. I made those rules, guys. Is Hail of Blades better than Conquer and Comet? I guess he wants to apply more early game pressure onto the Taliyah. I don't know. I don't have an in-depth knowledge of the Taliyah versus Azir matchup, but that's my guess. Oh, he missed the cannon. This Rumble's playing. Yeah, it's always rough though. I don't think you play Ignite into the Ornn, but I just feel like trying to play Rumble without playing Ignite just feels really bad. You got to all in on the Rumble. If you're not gonna go for it, what the fuck is the point? Have you seen Tyler One trying to guess where the European countries are at the world map? Oh my god, I would love to see that. Oh. Whew. Thing about Ornn is he's like he's very cooldown gated. Like he could be bursty, but at a certain point there's just no threat, right? You're like, oh shit, he did a bunch of damage to me. But then his cooldowns are gone and he can't do anything. Douglas 6. I don't know why Yike is spending so much time in the top here. I credit to Dokla. He's been playing very passively when he knows that his jungler is cross map. Like this is a very respectful Rumble game by Dokla. But I think it's really hard for this Poppy and Ornn to provide kill pressure onto this top lane. The Tyler One video. Oh god. Well, we'll save this for later. It'll be an interlude between our series. Do I like cigars? I enjoy them, but I don't smoke them that often. Pipe tobacco is where it's at, man. But I don't do that often either. But if you handed me, a nice Monte Cristo cigar, I would smoke it. Really good wall. Really good wall. That's how you Taliyah. That's how you fucking do it. Taliyah's the same as Poppy, man. Just use walls to bisect the team, get rid of people, secure objectives. Poppy's not 6 yet. And I do like the way that they're playing this. Like, look, the teleport from Rumble, you use it to secure the Drake, but you need to stack Drakes with their composition because you need to be able to force fights before the Ornn starts, you know, shitting out ornaments in the mid game. So you have to keep the tempo up. You have to keep the pressure up. All right, here's the question. Can they also get the Herald in this scenario? Again, you see an early rotation up, push in the bot lane into rotation. Ignore not 6 yet. Okay, Palafox is going to TP back in. Oh, he can't. He didn't stop the TP. Okay, he tried to stop the he tried to stop the recall rather. Couldn't get it done. Well, but now you see the side of Poppy. Poppy and Taliyah both used for exactly the same thing in back-to-back fights. Contracts gets hit by the ult. Now, should Contracts have flashed that? Yes. Yes, is the answer. You need to win these fights. You do have the opportunity to TP Palafox up there if you need to. You already have the advantage in terms of first move. I said there was no chance NRG win this game, and yet I also bet on NRG to win this game. Riddle me that. You know, basically what was going on here, guys, is that so Ignar is attempting to hit 6 by soaking the mid wave. Mickey X is doing the same thing right now, but they already have first movers advantage. Now, they saw the recall coming in. The attempt at a recall stopped by Azir failed, so now they don't know where Taliyah is. Taliyah has teleport. This is a good setup. Zaya's already in the bot side, so this encounter is currently, they know Ornn is in the top side. You have the Rumble ult, extremely strong in this situation. Rumble Jarvan ult is the king of these early game team fights. So you just have to get this as NRG. This is currently like a 4v4, but it can never be a 5v5, but it can be a 5v4, right? It can be a 5v4 due to Palafox's teleport. So you just have to secure this, which means I think with the resources that you have put, because you have to ask, what is the cost of making this play, right? Now you're going to get 300 gold from the Herald and potentially, you know, a couple plates. So you can get the gold back, but you're sacrificing the top wave. You already sacrificed CS in order to TP Rumble into the Drake fight. So you're kind of all in. You're kind of saying this is okay. We're going to lose some of the CS in bot and top. So you have to commit the flash. You're all in. You're all in. He had no vision on Poppy except reacting to see the ults. Yeah. So? He's a professional player. So? It's a first Herald fight. You have to assume the jungler's going to be there, guys. Corner Candy Shop, thank you. Yeah, it's a little bit sneaky, but you're 6. You know Poppy's 6. Oh, you can see Contract's mouth. He says, I fucked that up. Does he? Let's see. Good lip reading. No, I think they could see the ult. But we'll never know because we don't have replays. I think they have vision of it. I think they do. Maybe you're right. Maybe I think Rumble had vision of it. I see. Well, Max, I got to do stuff right now. So can you go look for it, please? Sorry about that. All right. Well, whatever. It's not the end of the world. It is just a bummer. Regardless, it is just this is the power of Poppy. This is why Poppy is good at the professional level. But it just kind of sucks for NRG because I think the play was very well crafted. It's not a dunk on NRG. Like, shit happens, but you can see how proactive they are being. If anything, this is actually saying good things about NRG, just because the setup was excellent there, right? They've been really committing to these plays. It feels like they know their win conditions and are playing to it. But it does suck because, I mean, the price of that now is like, you know, you lose the Herald. You may lose plates from it. You already lost a lot of farm. ID gun. Okay, so they're playing around. Okay, why is he queuing there? I guess just because they don't see anybody, they think they might be in that brush. Well played. A lot of flashes used, though, for that. Kim Monteshi. Oh, casting from the years 12 to 15. Thank you. Thank you, Corner Candy Shop. Oh, somebody made a donation. Sorry, I'll have to check that in a little bit. Thank you. Sorry, sometimes I don't see those. Let me pull that up, actually. Yeah, Ignar's been extremely good this series so far. You know, this is still not a great situation with, for NRG. Like, I think they've been really good in the plays, but it is tough not to get that Herald. And they're behind in gold against a team comp that scales better, right? Sorry, Spoods donated $5. What do you think of Prince leaving Fly? I mean, seems like he didn't really want to be there anymore. I think Prince will be a very good player. I think he will get a LCK deal and show that he's good again. It seemed like the team dynamic was just bad. There was no rational reason why that group of players should have been playing as badly as they did, besides attitude and team dynamic, right? So regardless of the deficit, goal deficit is not so huge right now. It's promising for G2 later, but they still have to be concerned about the Drake stacking that's going on. Wow, what are they doing? No, well, really, what are they doing? They committed so many resources to this. Yeah, Broken Blade without the ult and Poppy without the ult is really troubling. I do know the outcome of the series, guys, yes. On the VOD reviews, I know the outcome. There's no point in not knowing the outcome. We're watching the games to do analysis to see how teams won. We're not watching them to be surprised. That is, I mean, it's not an ideal scenario, obviously, because of the lack of ults, but it just feels like without Flash there that you could dive this turret. They just give up the Drake for nothing, and they waste a bunch of time on the top side of the map because Poppy isn't even farming. Now Poppy has to go bot to kind of triage this situation, and they're going to lose plates. Yeah, the amount of time that Yike has wasted propping up this Ornn in the top lane. And by the way, it's not like Ornn was under threat, guys. It's not like this was a game where Ornn was in danger. They were literally just wasting time trying to find an angle on the Rumble and then just never getting it. Ever getting it. They got 0 kills for all that time spent around top. And they never sent Mickey X top. Like, Mickey X can go on a top roam on first recall and coordinate that with Yike, and they probably kill Rumble. All right. Love me some Nautilus hitbox. Yes, very reasonable Riot Games. Very reasonable Nautilus hook. Very reasonable. Yep. Yep. Makes sense to me, guys. I mean, FBI doesn't... Did he have Spell Shield up? I actually didn't check and see if he used it earlier, but even if he does have it up, why the fuck would you use that? I like how it just goes around the minion. Like, there's no universe where this doesn't hit the minion, right? So I'm pretty sure he has Spell Shield, but why would you use it there? Why would you think this is gonna hit you? Oh, bottom left. Yeah. Oh, fortunately, we were clicked on Sivir. You're right. Good times, guys. That is some hot bullshit, though. Having coded with the cone on the end? Yeah, I know, but you have to be able to reasonably dodge them, right? There's no way you think you're getting hit by that hook. Probably should Spell Shield anyway, though, just because it's bullshit. Oh. Nice ult. Knock him off. Still think he's dead. Oh, he's not? Dogle has no ult. Never mind. Nice job by Caps, actually. Why are we going in? Why are we going in? Caps doesn't have ult. I mean, that's just a great play by Contracts. Cancels Ornn R2. Gets a knock up onto Caps at the same time. Contracts fucking popping off. Holy shit. Yep, I agree with Kobe. That was really good. Do you agree that G2 can only win if bot lane has the lead? No. Come on, guys. Your G2 hate is too much. There are games that Caps, Yike, and Broken Blade have carried. Get out of here. Like, Caps actually plays this sequence super well. Like, look at this. I think he's anticipating the Jarvan ult. Look how sick this is by Contracts, though. He gets the double knockout. Oh, I guess we're back into action. All right, so this third Drake's going to be really critical to how this game goes. You still live in Korea? Well, I wasn't for 6 years, but now I'm back in Korea. I just got back like a month ago. Do I think this is the best NA performance in World's history? No. NA made semis, dude. Cloud9 made semifinals. Please, you guys in your hyperbole. What the hell? NRG didn't even face an Eastern team to get here. Cloud9 3-0'd a Korean team in quarters, and they got the first win in a best-of series for an NA team over Korea ever. Like, hello? Can we just be happy about NRG making quarters and playing these really good games without getting fucking insane? God, you guys are just ODing on the hopium right now. This is insane. It's caused you to forget League of Legends history. Oh, Broken Blade bonked into the wall. Ooh. Crazy good re-engagement contracts. All right, let's take a look at the setup here. I mean, G2 still in a gold lead, which is obviously excellent for them at this stage of the game, given their win conditions. So they feel comfortable at least trying to start this. And, you know, the thing about NRG's composition is they're very good at controlling chokes with like Talia, Rumble, Jarvan, Rakan. They're less good. Their composition is less good in the open, and they're less good when it comes to re-engaging. But this is an excellent start by the Talia because it herds everybody into the Rumble ult immediately. Hansama has to use his ult very early on in this fight. Broken Blade does a better job of hiding himself in this scenario because he's in the brush for his R2. So, you know, this is all looking okay. When did Yike ult? Where was his ult? Did it get canceled? I think it got canceled. It must have it got canceled by a knockup, I think. Yeah, it got canceled because it has the short cooldown, so he didn't use it. Yeah, let's think about this a little bit. Let's think about this setup. That's some good initial poke damage. I think when you see this go down, I think one of the mistakes here is that when you see this go down, you have to channel Poppy ult immediately. Also, by the way, shout out to fucking Hextech Drake. Shout out to Hextech Drake. Hextech Drake is NA's bro, man. Look at that. The proc comes to chain slow everybody at exactly the same time that the engage happens, and they get the Rumble ult off. I like the aggressive flash from Palafox here. So you kite back out of the Azir soldiers. That is a huge play. That is a huge play right there by Palafox. This setup is really good. So they have a pink ward. Where's the pink ward? Shouldn't there be a pink ward on? What is causing this to not have vision? I actually can't see. It can't be that ward. Okay, there must be a pink ward up here. It can't be this pink ward, right? Surely. Yeah, it's in the brush. It's in the brush. So this is an excellent ward because it denies vision, which allows it to set up this play. Oh, yeah, I see it. There it is. It's right there. Sorry, stuff's a little small. I'm old. Gets the unstoppable, so he actually does not get knocked back in that circumstance, but the damage is still huge. It's good repositioning. That is funny that the Hextech Drake ability proc came at exactly the wrong time. Who knows how much of an actual difference it makes, but it certainly didn't help. Let's put it that way. Look at that right there. That's so shitty for G2. Really good. Yes, the control word. Kobe knows. That control word is clutch. Do I have any idea what a kilometer is? Yes, I've lived in many countries that used kilometers. G2 looks so uncoordinated, do they? I mean, I don't think they played that horrifically or anything. It was an extremely close fight. Like, they do a really good job of using vision control to get Ornn R2 off. They're using a range advantage right now on Azir. I think they didn't respect the Talia wall, which is kind of surprising given that this has already happened in this game. But this looks not terrible, right? It sucks that Hansama had to use his ult early because he was Jarvan ulted. But honestly, this is just a good play by Palafox. And Cap steps up just a little bit too much, right? You know, it's a little bit of mispositioning. I think one of the problems, guys, is that Ornn actually has a hard time ulting in this game. Like, you can't be in the front line and ult as Ornn because you get interrupted. That's not how Ornn ult works. Like, do you guys want him to stand in the front line and just tank everything? Come on, Contracts has been very good at knocking him up. You have a Rakan there. Like, Talia can W him. Like, what exactly do you want him to do? It's very unlikely that if he's standing in the front of the fight, he's going to have a successful ultimate. You also have to look at this through a different lens. You know what I mean? Like, this is a team composition that was selected to scale into the late game. Ornn's 13 now, so the ornaments are coming through, right? It's hard if it is very hard to play this composition on G2 if your opponent gets a 7-minute first Drake. Right? Can we credit NRG for upping the tempo of this game? If they are not all-inning on these Drakes, they probably lose this game. Like, they're doing what they have to do. They are playing to their win condition, and it is hard for G2 to take that fight. And in spite of that, they're only 2K down. And with a couple of ornaments, you actually make up that gold in terms of stats really quickly. So it's still not doomed for G2, guys. The problem really is that Poppy didn't ult immediately. I think that was the biggest factor, is that the Poppy, as soon as you see the Talia wall in, you basically just have to Poppy ult. So you kind of trade isolating ult for isolating ult. Problem here is that you commit Ornn ult and you've committed Azir ult just to kill Palafox now. And the collapse is just going to happen faster because of this, right? This is what I was talking about before this game started, how you can use Sivir to create picks in side lanes. It just gives you an inherent advantage in terms of speed of making the play. So it doesn't really matter that Palafox died here because he actually absorbed 2 ultimates. So, I mean, you don't have this anymore. You don't have this anymore. And they're going to be coming much faster with this Sivir ultimate. You're still kind of stuck under tower here. Can you hit a big Poppy ult will be the question, right? But these guys are coming through river. They're not going to be part of this play. And when Palafox comes back up, he's going to have TP, so we can actually TP back into the fight if this goes on long enough. Thank you, Dawi Gas, for your subscription. No thank you to the rest of you freeloaders. Okay, where's Poppy ult? Poppy ult right there. But it, you know, there's still too much priority here onto the side for NRG. They can just get there much faster. Yeah, this ain't over either. Thank you, Mantra TV. Us poors can't afford it. Meanwhile, RHJF, you have a Prime Gaming tag on you, so I know you got that sweet Twitch Prime in there. You apparently can afford you can afford Amazon Prime. Just saying. Quick fix. Thank you, buddy. And King Ruben and Vinsabi. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Called out. RHJF. You don't even... You can be poor because you got a free sub. SML Potatoes. Thank you. Cholin. Christosi. Thank you. You used it already. Well, I hope you reflect on your poor decision-making of not using it here. Ariel J, thank you. The Rumble ult is still up here because he was ejected from the fight. Very good. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. You should call up people for being poor more often. Yeah. I do all the time, actually. Saltine Cracker 94 for all the years of dope content. Thank you, guys. There are a lot of you here today. I really appreciate it, by the way. I'm just joking around. But I do like your money. Yeah, Contracts is popping us. Nosferatu's PTY, thank you. Chris Edgeworth, thank you. 6 months in advance. All right, that's the big play right there. I will be streaming more, guys. Especially over the course of Worlds and during off-season, you will get value. Proving your KFE credentials. God bless you. Hot tub stream win. I'm Jack now, guys. I'm not sure your eyes are ready for my DILF gamer body. All right, G2 is getting some advantages by actually being able to muscle their way into the Drake. Felchmaster 9000, thank you. NRG beating JDG. I bet if NRG beats JDG, that's when you guys can have a party. Holy moly, thank you. Infinity to Plank, appreciate it. The channel was more active, I would subscribe more regularly. That's fair. That is fair. Have some biddies. Thank you, Jojo. Appreciate it. All right. So is the Hextech Drake gonna troll them again? Okay, there it is. Oh, these setups have been good, man. Like, look at this. All right, so Caps marking the backside. He's got the Hextech gate in case he needs to get around. So here's the setup again. Actually, Dokla's really sneaky here. Let's watch this. Okay, so they know Dokla's there. Let's check and see what information they have. Okay, this is really good camera work by LCK observers. So they saw the harpoon from Dokla, so they know he's somewhere. This is good, though. He's actually playing this really conservatively because he knows he has Blast Cone, so he doesn't actually have to go that way. And he knows if they have vision there, they're not going to see him. So that's clever. Palafox checks brush with Q. So they have vision. Look at the coordination. Right as the Talia wall starts, you actually are going to see this onto Poppy. Oh. Oh. He flashes out immediately so that he avoids the Poppy ult. Nobody actually gets knocked back by this. FBI doesn't even have to spell shield because he's barely out of range. Equalizer comes down at exactly the same time. And Caps is stuck. Caps is totally stuck. Blast Cone's in. Orin's in the back because he hasn't been able to use ult yet. Does get his ult off. That's gets spell shielded. The thing is, they got the soul, though. G2 actually wins this fight. You start to see this composition coming online. I don't know, guys. I think this game was really close. You know what I mean? I think if G2 gets this Drake, maybe G2 wins this game. So why does Yike have no, what's happening? What's happening? What is this? What is this? Uh-oh, my bullshit detector's going off. Yike, my guy. Who did he smite? What did he smite? He smited somebody right there. Who did he smite? He smited here. That's his smite right there. He smited FBI. That's illegal. Also, how did he... What's the HP on that Drake? 200 HP left. Oh... I think if G2 gets this Drake, that maybe they win this game. I mean, you see how this is going for NRG in some of these late game scenarios, and it's not looking great, guys. Like, if they don't get this Hextech soul, I wonder if NRG wins. You know, if this was a Chemtech soul, do they win now? Even if they get the Chemtech soul, you know what I mean? I mean, why? This is terrible for Mickey. You literally have no backup. There's no damage. Even if you hit that hook, there is nothing that happens. Nothing good happens from you hitting that hook. To be fair, I don't think they could have done Baron anyway. NRG is really committed to their win condition. This is admirable. This is admirable. I mean, Mickey X had a great year, guys. You can meme about it all you want, but Mickey X was easily the best Western player coming into Worlds. So I think the first game from NRG was actually more impressive than this game. But they had balls. The cojones were there. The cojones were there for NRG, and I respect that. And they did what they had to do. They took the fights they needed to take. Because it's about as good of an engage as you could ever want. I mean, the combination of, you know, Ignar's engage, the timing of the J4 ultimate, him flashing to dodge the Poppy ult is really good. Caps isn't part of this fight because he's zoned off by the Talia wall, but he actually has a huge effect by coming in later in this fight. And I think that if this 50-50 goes G2's way, because you have to remember that they're getting chain slowed by this, so it's preventing any kind of re-engage as well. Now that's just stupid. There's just no chance that goes well, even if because you lose that fight. You lose the 4v4. Like, if you don't want that fight. Yeah, what NRG did in this game, I agree, the comment. What NRG did in this game was get the first 3 Drakes. They did the job they had to do. They knew what they had to do. They got it done. The problem, guys, is like, so, you know, I think the issue here with believing in NRG moving forward is that the Belveth game was just a disaster a disaster class by G2, just like the Cloud9 Belveth game was a disaster class against T1. And so if that doesn't happen, and if they face a team that's better in the early game than G2, do you believe that they would actually win? I don't know. Death Kane, thank you for your sub. Yeah, I mean, look, they played a good game. I don't want to take anything away from NRG. Like, they were quite clean in their closeout of game number 1. They punished and snowballed really well. They played their win condition here and did a good job. You know, I think this game was less close than, or I think was more close than people thought. Basically, you know, on the comments I was seeing on social media, I thought this was like a crazy blowout for NRG, but that end of that game was really quite close. I think that's one of those instances where if one of those Drakes goes to G2 at one point in time, we're talking about a very different game. It was a blowout. Everybody's committed to the narrative. It was a blowout. Yeah, Contracts was great, man. He was really good. No, and go back and analyze how that soul helped them win. The soul didn't help them win. The soul didn't help them win. But it was the need to fight for the soul that G2 had that caused them to win the game. I don't think the soul was a major factor in their win. Vengeance 28-8, in terms of the objective value of the Hextech soul, I don't think it provided it. Because here's the thing. When we go back, right, it's this fight and them getting the soul, right? Right, because they actually win this fight. And they can just walk away. This is the problem. You know, the fact that this turned from, and had they not inted here, then they would not have been able to get the Drake. So it was or the Baron rather, it was Mickey's mistake that caused them to die enough to get the Drake. Soul helps here a little bit on the chase down, obviously. You do get the slow from Hextech Soul rather. So it does help a little bit, but it was really just the mistakes that were around it. Now, we can question what happens in a game state, because the other crucial thing is right here. Oh, sorry, where are we? Right. Sorry, we got to go back before the Baron. So the question is, what happens if they just all get out? Hans gets slow right here. Now, if they just walk away, there's not going to be a Baron play here, right? It's 25 seconds till the jungler, 20 seconds here. It's the fact that Mickey and Broken Blade die here that enables the Baron to be taken, and it's actually the Baron that's the most important part. But if they don't get Baron here, I still think the Hextech Soul is absolutely massive, because it has such insane value in terms of they already have excellent lockdown with like Rakan, Jarvan, Rumble, Talia, right? If the hook hits, does it go any different? No. No, I mean, look, they don't really have anything. Like, yeah, they have a Xayah ult, but these guys are all like full HP, right? They don't have any other tools to use. No, I think this goes extremely badly for them. If anything, more of them might have died. Because if the hook hits and everybody commits to this fight, could have been even worse. If G2 gets the drag there or not, they still go for Baron and Mickey still in. Sure. You're right. It didn't matter in that moment. But it would have mattered had this game gone on longer and the Baron not been taken. The crucial moment was Mickey inting, but that doesn't mean the Dragon Soul had no value, right? The Dragon Soul is still super valuable. And if Mickey didn't int there, I still think probably G2 loses because the Hextech Soul exists. We're going to go to T1 next. But credit to NRG. Look, they played a good series. They played a good series.
Ain't no love like a real love, but it goes so fast.